So what evidence would you say you have that God, the creator, has sinned?
The flood.
So do you ever think that it's actually justified to put someone to death, ever? If someone has done some heinous things, and they might continue to do heinous things, it makes sense to put them to death.
I don't know. I mean...
Okay, there does seem to be some situation where putting someone to death is the right move.
Yeah.
Okay.
In certain situations.
So what if I were to say that's exactly what God did at the flood? He was like, these are all wicked people who promise to continue in their wickedness. And he's like, the only way to fix this is to wipe them all out. Would you say then, if that were true, right? If that were true, would you say, okay, that seems legitimate then? Flood, God wasn't unjustly killing innocent people. He was putting to death a nation of wicked people, or a world of wicked people.
I mean, were there kids that died in the flood?
Yeah, that's rough.
So...
Yeah, that's a rough one. Yeah.
Like pregnant,
And what if the innocent children in that time were casualties of this punishment that the wicked people had brought upon themselves?
How couldn't they gone onto the heart?
Oh, that's actually a really good point. And welcome back, my brethren and sistren, for another Raw Talk episode with Walkworthy with Rick. This is a completely unedited conversation that we had with Dylan and Daniel. And what you can see from what we've already started with, this is a tough conversation. I actually feel like I dropped the ball in this conversation, but that's okay. You learn from opportunities like this to better answer questions like this for future conversations. You're not going to be perfect in every single conversation you have in every opportunity, but so long as we're learning, growing, as long as we're spending time with the Lord, and we're praying for others, it's okay. We're just planting seeds. I hope you guys enjoy this full-length, unedited conversation with Daniel and Dylan. Again, these guys were gentlemen. It was a blessing to talk with them, and be praying that the Lord would reveal himself to them. Before we get into the video, now's the time. If you haven't already hit the like button, if you haven't subscribed, shared the video, and put a comment, please do it now. It goes so far in terms of encouraging me. But enough about that. Let's get into it. I hope you guys walk worthy. If you guys get in this conversation, you're like, you know what? I need a pizza to get me through this. Feel free to change your mind. All right, Jeff, just make sure that looks like it's in frame. All right. Appreciate you guys sticking around or for coming around here. Yep. All right, so let's see. I think we're good. All right, so we're here with Daniel.
Hi.
And Dylan.
That's right.
Dylan. All right. So tell me a little bit about yourselves, guys. What are you guys studying here?
I'm studying chemistry.
Chemistry. Okay.
Doing bio.
Bio. Okay, we're with a couple of smart guys over here, so it's going to be a good conversation. Our conversations, typically me and Jeff will have conversations with anybody on campus. Typically, we try to spark up conversations about spiritual matters, okay? So that being said, is the light here, turn that thing over, because it looks like the light is in the frame there. Yeah, turn that light facing them. There you go. Now you got to re-aim it. Okay, so we're going to have a spiritual conversation. Do you guys have any kind of spiritual, religious background?
Not really.
No, not really.
No? Okay, very good. Do you guys have any or belief in terms of like an afterlife?
I believe I will go to heaven.
You believe you'll go to heaven? Okay, so you believe that there's an afterlife and you're going to go to a good place, right? Do you think there's a bad place?
I think it's a bad place too.
But you're not going there.
I'm not.
All right, very good. What about you?
Yeah, not really sure.
Not sure, right?
Yeah.
All right. What do you think happens? Do you have any kind of leaning?
Yeah, I mean, it's probably just like before you were born, I guess. Like, nothing.
So wherever you were, I was going to say wherever you were before you were born, that's where you go? Or you're like,
Yeah.
there was nothing before you're born and there's nothing after you're born?
Oh, yeah, no, I don't really believe in like reincarnation or anything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, probably just like...
So it ceased to exist?
Yeah, exactly.
Got it. Okay, very good. All right, so our conversations typically go around about the idea of if there were an afterlife.
Yeah.
Yeah? If there were one, and there's a paradise, do you guys think that you would go there, right? So obviously we got Daniel's answer. Daniel's like, yes, I'm going to heaven for sure. If there were a paradise or a heaven, do you think that you'd be going there?
Like, am I like a good person? Like...
Do you think that's what it takes to get into heaven?
I mean, yeah.
If there were one?
Yeah, I think that's kind of what the Bible. Well, actually, no, not really, because I think it's more like if you believe, then that's
Okay, if you believe. Okay.
Well,
if it's to believe, then do you think you're going to be going to the good place?
I mean, probably not if I don't believe in it.
Okay. All right, so you believe, all right, if there were a heaven, you're not going to go there because you don't believe.
Right.
All right. Daniel thinks he is going to go to heaven. And is it because, why do you think you're going to be going to heaven?
Well, I always believe that I will go to heaven
Mhm.
if I like go to church,
Yeah.
you know, and ask for forgiveness. Even though I sometimes commit sins,
Yeah.
there's always a time where you can ask for forgiveness and he will like accept you.
I got it.
You know.
But I thought when I asked if you have any kind of religious or spiritual background, I thought you said no. Did I mishear you?
Well, I would say no, cause yes, I'm a bit religious,
Mhm.
but I'm not like very direct to the religion. I don't
Right.
like follow all their norms,
Okay.
but I do believe in the concept of the afterlife.
Got it. Okay. Good. All right. So, how old are you guys?
18.
18.
20.
20. Okay. All right. Right. So let's say we fast forward your lives 100 years. And maybe by the time with your guys' age, you guys are going to live to be 120 years, right? Very, very fantastic, wonderful life. You guys did everything that you've ever wanted to. But you're there and you've died. And now you're standing before your creator. And God says to you, why should I let you into my heaven? What are you going to say? Why should I let you into my heaven?
Oh.
What's your best argument?
It's like-
Speechless.
right. Yeah, it's like.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's like no exact word. I mean,
Uh-huh.
if Jesus, we believe that he sees our everyday lives, so he could see our accomplishments.
Yeah.
So like he knows that we put in the work, we believe in this thing.
Gotcha.
So I feel like he will accept me for like the things that I've done.
Yes.
You know,
Okay.
even though they're good or bad, he will
Yeah.
still accept me for who I am.
Right. So if there was like a scale that you were being weighed on your good things and your bad things, your good would outweigh your bad, and he's going to let you into heaven. Is that fair or no?
I would say so. I'd say so.
That sounds good. That sounds right.
Yeah. But
What
you
about-
you gotta accept like that you did stuff bad. You can't like say, oh yeah, I did a lot of bad things. They never accept it.
Okay. So you like, so long as I acknowledge I have committed sin or broken his laws, and if I do enough good,
I would say so.
you'll get there. All right. What do you think, Ellen? Are you close or what? Still speechless? Have you formulated an argument for yourself?
Are we on the same like question? If he asked,
yeah. What would you say?
I mean, I'd be like, well, I don't know. I guess I don't really have an answer.
Okay, very good. All right, so let's say there is a test. There's a good person test. He's going to ask, right? You're saying maybe am I good enough to get there? There's a test. You've heard of the 10 Commandments, all right? If you've at least heard of them, I'm going to run you through like 3 of them. All right. The first one is the 9th commandment, right? The 9th commandment says, "Thou shalt not lie." Have you ever told a lie in your entire life?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Like without a doubt, I think I've told lies. Like I don't think there's anybody in the person that has.
That was quick. All right.
Me too.
Yeah. Huh? Yeah. You
Oh,
do?
yeah.
Okay. Very good. Yeah, I've done the same thing. I'm a liar. I've lied before, so I'd be a liar. All right. The 8th commandment says, "Thou shalt not steal." Have you ever stolen anything in your entire life?
No, I've never stolen anything.
Never stolen anything. Never
Not that I can
downloaded
recall.
anything you didn't pay for. I don't know, stolen things
okay,
like
then-
answers on a test or.
Yes, I have that. Yeah.
He's like, guilty.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, technically, then yeah.
Yeah, technically. Okay, very good. So you guys have not very good, very bad. You guys have stolen. All right, I've done that as well. So if you've stolen something, you guys would be thieves. Okay. The 3rd commandment says this. 3rd commandment says, "Thou shalt not take the name of the Lord thy God in vain." Right. So have you guys ever used God's name in a way that is like you're using it as a curse word, or you're using it very lightly, like you're not putting value on his name? Have you guys ever done that?
Yeah.
You have. Okay.
Yeah, I have.
Yes. Okay. So and doing that is called blasphemy, right? You're blaspheming God's name, right? So there you are. You guys have. I'm not judging you. You've admitted to breaking these laws, right? So if you were to stand before God, would you be innocent or would you be guilty of breaking his laws?
Then yeah, you're guilty.
Guilty.
I'll say I'm innocent because I. Okay, I will be honest. I have, but I've always asked forgiveness to him.
Uh-huh.
I've always prayed. You know,
Uh-huh.
even though I sometimes use his name in his vain, I still ask for forgiveness because I know I shouldn't have done it.
Mhm.
So I stopped using it a long time ago, but I still have when I was a kid.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So hey, listen. You were the one who were like, "Hey, you have to acknowledge you've done wrong." But now you're saying, "Hey, I was forgiven." But the question is, would you be guilty or not? You guys would be guilty, right? You're guilty. Okay. All right. So then leads us to the next question, which where you were going. If you're guilty, and God is a good judge, what must He do with guilty criminals? Must He reward guilty criminals, or must He punish guilty criminals?
Punish.
Punish.
Is neither an option?
Neither an option. Okay. Would a good judge not do anything to someone who's broken the law?
Well, they have to have like multiple evidence. You know?
Okay.
They'll
Yeah,
have
there'd have to be evidence, right?
Right.
If the evidence was the criminal was like, I already admitted to doing it, would that be enough evidence? Like-
No. That would be enough evidence.
That would?
I said would it?
It wouldn't be.
It wouldn't.
Okay. What if he also had a camera, and the camera saw everything? Okay. So do you think? Well, you guys, 2 minutes ago, you both admitted to say I am guilty of breaking the law. And if God sees everything, his eyes are like a camera. He sees everything, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Well, you know, morally.
Yeah.
So yeah, morally, like, yeah, like if you're using, like I don't know how to like word it, but
of course. Do your best.
I mean, yeah, like I guess, you know, like if you're using like an actual judge, like, you know, a human, and he like sentence, you know, he's like telling a criminal, oh, you got the death penalty,
Yes.
or something. Yeah, like that's not morally correct because like he knows like at the end of the day, like that person's gonna die, but you know, just that's just what the law is. So,
Are you saying, hey, that's the death penalty is too bad, right? For the laws that I've broken, right? You wouldn't give the death penalty to somebody who stole something, right? Is that what you're saying?
yeah.
Okay, so you're like, hey man, hell is not fair. I may have lied, I may have stolen, I may have taken God's name in vain, but hell is way too, like the punishment has to fit the crime, and you're saying it doesn't fit, right? Yeah. Okay. All right, so let me give you this idea. All right. And I was talking about this like a few weeks ago with some other students we were talking with. They said this. They said, hey, that seems unfair. So let's say we're walking around and there's like a cockroach that walks by. And, you know, maybe you guys really don't like the cockroach. Maybe it's next to the pizza. So you stomp on the cockroach and you kill it. And right as you're doing that, a police officer walks by. Is the police officer going to do anything? No, he doesn't care. Who cares? But let's say you're about to eat your pizza and then there's like a homeless guy. And the homeless guy is like trying to reach for the pizza. And then you knock out the homeless guy and you start stomping on him. Is the police officer going to do anything?
Yeah.
Yes, the police officer is going to do something. Now let's say the president is walking by and he wants a piece of your pizza. But before he reaches for it, you go to knock him out and start stomping on him. But what's going to happen? Yeah, you're getting arrested or shot, right? The police officer going bang, bang, bang. You're not shooting the president. You're not touching the president or anything. All right, so you guys did the same thing in every one of those instances, but you got a different penalty, right? A different punishment. Maybe you might say, hey, you know, the homeless man has more value than the roach, but maybe the president has more value than him, or maybe he has more power than each, right? And so the punishment went up. If you were to go against God, would you say God's power is infinitely more than the president? He has infinite power, authority, value.
I guess so.
All right, that follows.
Yeah.
So if you sin against an infinite person, then maybe the punishment should also be infinite. So if you were to lie, you've of course lied to people here, but you're also bearing God's image. You've lied and God called you not to, so now you lied against him. And so now the punishment is infinite. Plus, however many times you've lied, however many times you've taken God's name in vain, however many times you've stolen, all of those. Does that at least make, and maybe it's still a tough pill to swallow, but that makes more sense why sin has an infinite punishment.
Yeah, I mean, I could understand.
You can understand it, maybe you still don't like it, but... So you guys are standing before God now. Does that concern you? If you stood before God and he were to judge you by these 10 commandments, you'd be guilty and worthy of punishment. Does that even concern you a little bit?
I mean, if that actually were to happen, then yeah, that'd be concerning.
Yes. Yes.
Oh,
Daniel.
would it be concerning?
Would you be concerned?
If he was right here. Honestly, I wouldn't be concerned.
You would not be.
I would not be concerned.
All right. Why not?
Because, well, I believe that God believes that every human is the same.
Every human is the same.
Right? Every person is the same. Like,
Okay.
nobody has more power.
You mean
Even
they're equal in value.
equal in value, no matter if we have a president, he still values us the exact same
Okay.
thing. Right?
Yep.
So, I believe that he will look himself and believe that he's also equal to us. You know?
You would think God thinks that God is equal to man.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
So I think everybody has like the equality. Everybody has the same thing. So I wouldn't really be concerned because I believe that maybe he also committed some sins.
You think God committed sins?
I believe that he could have committed some sins.
Wow. Okay. Definitely. So that's definitely.
Actually, I can agree with that too.
All right. So you guys believe God has sinned?
Yes.
Well, are you saying God as in like the spiritual God created the world, or do you think Jesus? Are you talking about Jesus?
I say Jesus.
You think Jesus sinned?
I say both.
Interesting. You think both? Okay, very good. Now you've got me on the back here. So what evidence would you say you have that God, the creator, has sinned?
Yeah. The flood.
The flood.
Yeah, he killed everyone on Earth except Noah and the farm animals. And then
Yep.
what else? There.
That's good. That's a really good
Yeah, they had another one. It was like
Sodom and Gomorrah.
It
Wiped out those two cities.
Oh, yeah. That's right.
Okay, very good. All right. So do you ever think that it's actually justified to put someone to death ever?
I don't know. I mean, maybe if they're like a danger to society, then it would make sense to do it.
Very good. Very good. So if someone has done some heinous things, and they might continue to do heinous things, it makes sense to put them to death.
I don't know. I mean,
Okay, what if somebody that you absolutely love, like one of your parents? Forgive me if I'm using this and it's upsetting, but so let's say somebody breaks into your parents' house, and when the police get there, there's evidence that they also did it to the neighbor before, and 2 months ago they did it to someone else, and when they're in the courtroom, it seems like there's no remorse, and they're even threatening, like, I will do this again. Would it be okay to put them to death? Death penalty?
yeah, I mean, I'd say so.
Okay. So that's legitimate. It seems like, okay, there does seem to be some situation where putting someone to death is the right move.
Yeah.
Okay.
In certain situations.
Okay, very good. So what if I were to say that's exactly what God did at the flood? He was like, these are all wicked people who promise to continue in their wickedness, and he's like, the only way to fix this is to wipe them all out, and one family seems to be righteous. They're walking the right path, and I'm going to save them. Would you say then, if that were true, right? If that were true, would you say, okay, that seems legitimate then?
No, I mean, he kind of broke his own like law, so.
What was the law?
You shall not kill. Yeah.
Right. Do you think there's a difference between killing and murdering? Right, like executing a guilty criminal is killing. You're not murdering them. But what that guilty criminal was doing, murdering innocent people, that's different. Would you say does that make sense?
I mean, that kind of tracks.
Okay, right. Yeah, so that was a tough one for me to swallow, tough pill for me to swallow until I realized there is a difference between killing and murdering, right? Killing is what we might have to do to someone to end the danger, right? If somebody had a gun, they were about to kill Daniel, and maybe the only way we could stop him is putting that guy down. Yeah. That wouldn't be murdering, that would be killing. Whereas murder is I'm killing an innocent person for no reason.
Wouldn't it be self-defense?
Sure, self-defense, right? And in self-defense, I'm killing, I'm not murdering. Murdering would be the unjust killing of an innocent person. Mm-hmm. But the idea is, in the flood, God wasn't unjustly killing innocent people. He was putting to death a nation of wicked people, or a world of wicked people.
I mean, were there kids that died in the flood?
Yeah, that's rough.
So.
Yeah, that's a rough one.
Or
Yeah.
like pregnant women, you know.
Yeah, for sure. That's a tough one, and that's where I'd have to say this is one of those things where when we do wrong, can you imagine when somebody does wrong? Do other people have to feel the punishment for what they've done, even though they're innocent?
There's probably been instances of
100%.
Yeah.
Like if you're drinking and driving, you're drinking and driving, you get in a car accident, you kill somebody completely innocent, right? Are there casualties for people that are doing something? Even though they're innocent, they have to feel the casualty or the pain from the wrong thing you were doing.
Yeah.
And what if the innocent children in that time were casualties of this punishment that the wicked people had brought upon themselves?
How couldn't have they gone onto the ark?
Oh, that's actually a really good point. That's a really good point. They could have gone onto the ark, but I guess it would be one of those things where God says, this family is the one that's lived a righteous life, and so this is the one that I'm going to bring forward. And these other people, even though there's babies and children, I don't like it. I'm not over here trying to be like, I like this. I hate the idea, right? Just like hell. I'm not happy about there being hell. I hate the idea that there's hell. But there's a time when the wickedness of someone else starts to impact other people, even though the other people didn't do the wickedness. There are innocent casualties to what happened here. Right? Does that make sense? I still know it's not an innocent. It's not a easy pill to swallow. That's a tough one.
Yeah. I mean,
You track. You may not like it, but there's a following. You can follow it.
Yeah, I can see. Where you come from.
So I know this has gone probably way longer than you guys expected, but here I want to ask you guys. Right? Hopefully this is a conversation that's getting you guys thinking. If you guys stood before God, and He did have to judge you by these laws, you'd be guilty, right? If you're guilty, you guys must be punished, right? If He's a good judge. I mean, a good judge would not let a criminal come into his court, all the evidence is there, and just let him go free, right? You guys would be like, that's unjust. You're letting these criminals go free, right? He can't let you guys go free unless there's a payment for your sins, right? So does it concern you that if you were to stand before this God who's good and is a good judge, He's going to find you guilty and He's going to have to punish you? Does that concern you at all?
I mean, I don't know. I think that he's also. I mean, kind of what I said before. He's done stuff too, you know.
Got it. So you'd say, hey, you're just as guilty as
I
me.
can judge him as well, you know.
Got it. Okay. Anything?
I believe the same thing. Everybody's guilty at some point.
Huh?
You know, if I'm like getting punished, I will
Yes.
face my consequences.
Yes.
You know, just like he would have faced his consequences, I will have done something.
Right. And if there was an opportunity for you to not have to face the consequences, like somebody else is willing to pay your fine, would you want to take that? You'd say, no, I want to pay for my own fine.
Take it.
You'll take the way out, or you'll take the payment, or you'll take your own punishment.
I'll take my own punishment because nobody should suffer except for me.
That's a great answer. What if the person's already done it, right?
It doesn't matter. I'm the one that did the
Okay.
activities. So
All
I'm
right.
the one that's supposed to face.
So the Bible talks about that Jesus came, lived a perfect life. He never sinned. He lived a perfect life, and He says, because I love Dylan, because I love Daniel so much, I'm willing to take their sin, the payment, the punishment, right? You guys deserve eternity in hell. He says, I will take that punishment on myself, and I will die on the cross, and I'll rise again in 3 days. But if you guys would repent of your sins and place your trust in Him, then your sin would be paid for. It'd be like you're in a court, and the judge says, $1 billion fine, or you're going to go life in prison and torture. And you're like, I can't pay for this. But if somebody else were to say, I will pay the fine, I will pay the $1 billion. They sell everything that they own because they love you so much. They're left with nothing, and they go pay your fine so that you can go free. You're saying, no, I don't want you to do that. I don't want Jesus' death on the cross, even though He already died. I don't want to take that. I want to take the payment myself, which is eternity in hell. That's what you'd want.
Yeah, I would take it because I know that I wouldn't feel comfortable for someone else to take my punishment if I know that I'm supposed to be deserving it.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
So about that scenario you said about the $1 million.
Yeah.
Yeah, he will have enough money, but deep inside in my heart, I'll be like every single day just thinking about it like
I owe him everything.
like I owe him everything.
Yeah.
Like I owe him my life, and then I was supposed to pay him back. I wouldn't let him spend all that money and never like give him the money back.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, that's exactly what the Christian is supposed to do, right? The Christian is supposed to say, I could never pay this fine, not if I worked forever. But because Jesus paid this fine for me, I no matter how much work I do, I'll never be able to pay it back. But because I'm so grateful to him, I love him so much, I'm going to live the best life I can. I'm going to live for him. Now, and you're not going to get to heaven and be like, all right, God, I know you paid $1 million, but I worked up $15. Here's my $15 toward that fine. He's going to say, don't insult me with that. You'll never be able to pay it back. But if you just trust in Jesus, if you trust he paid your fine for you, not try to pay it for yourself, he will grant you forgiveness. And Holy Spirit will come and live inside you. He'll make you a brand new person. And then all of these times when you're struggling with sin or struggling with living for yourself, the Holy Spirit will help you overcome that sin and help you live a righteous life. That's the whole idea of a Christian. Not trying to say, I'm going to work my way to heaven, because that would be insulting the work that Jesus did. But instead say, okay, I trust only in Jesus. And now I'm going to live a good life, not because I'm trying to earn my way there, but because I love him so much. Does that make sense? Is that a little bit different than what you were talking about?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay. All right. Any other questions you guys got, or anything you want to challenge me with? Anything? Or you guys want to go, I want the pizza, so I want to get out of here.
You got anything?
No, I got nothing.
All right. Hey, you guys were a pleasure. Any closing words you want to leave to the chat over here?
Got nothing.
No. Okay. How'd you like the conversation? Was it okay? I didn't pick on you too much, did I?
No, it was good.
Okay. Very good. All right, guys. Well, we're gonna end it here, and appreciate you.
Yep.
All right, guys. Hey, man, take as much peach as you got. It is Walk Worthy with Rick on YouTube, and if you look for just Walk Worthy Rick on Instagram, you can find me there as well. But I'm really slow to actually edit. That's cool. Okay.
Touche. Huh? It never works. There you go.
Red button.